Good afternoon. In today's video, I'm just going to be putting on my makeup for the day. I have a different selection of palettes over here. I have like 3 different palettes to choose from. I pulled out my Cake palette, my Sub-Zero palette, and my Lit List palette. I kind of want to go for something really bright, teal, gold, you know, all the things to go with what I've got happening here. So I definitely pulled out a lot of different things for the eyeshadows. I have a different selection, mostly older products in front of me, things I've had for a while, but there are some new things mixed in here and there. So we're just going to get started, and I'm going to pull my hair back because it is hot in here now. It went from literally sweater weather to like sweating. So yeah. I will say I'm happy. Happy it's nicer out. I'm not going to complain too much yet. Okay, to get started with the face, I'm just going to use a face spray. Feels really good right now. I am trying to finish up the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I'm almost done with this. I've been pretty much exclusively using this. And if I come up here to touch up my makeup, I'm spraying it on. I'm spraying it on before makeup, after makeup. I'm trying to use this up. And it is taking forever. I'm also going to apply just a little bit of like a lip treatment here. I did have to pull the stopper out of this. My Hangover RX from Too Faced. Like, that is almost gone. I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. I'm using the Milani Avocado Redness Correcting Primer. I'm feeling a little bit red today. In the shower, I use that Kate Somerville, like the 2-minute facial thing. It's like that gray, charcoaly looking stuff. I use that when I'm in the shower because you're supposed to let it set, so I do that while I'm, you know, washing my hair and stuff. I only use it every, like, probably 3 days, 3 or 4 days. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I've been using a lot of the Kate Somerville products. I have, like, the cleanser, the 2-minute facial thing, and then I have, like, the little liquid bottle of, like, the liquid, like the exfoliate, liquid exfoliate, that's what they're called. When I first got them, I was using them all the time, like all together. You know, like following the instructions, you know, going however many days. But I feel like using the cleanser and then using the liquid was like way too much. My skin looked like this all the time. And I'm like, I know it like irritates your skin a little bit, you know, but it wasn't looking better. You know what I mean? Like, it just looked rough constantly. So I've been doing less. I use the cleanser. I don't feel like that's as strong. I didn't even plan on talking about this today, but since we're here. So I've been using them for like months now. And yeah, when I use everything together, it's almost too much. And I feel like this is a little too much too. So I will probably use it up. And then I will go a while without using it and see like what happens. See if my skin gets, you know, if it's doing anything for me, because I feel like it just irritates my cheeks and stuff. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Random thought for the day. Okay, I'm also going to use the Poreless Putty Primer on the center of my face. Ignore my nails. I popped all those off today. I'm going to put fresh ones on later. I will say, the ones I had on though this last time held on forever. I had like 5 of them that just wouldn't even come off. When I tried to take them off. That pink nail glue that comes with those Kiss press-on nails is no joke. It's good stuff. I'm gonna let that all sit into the skin. Now, I did recently pick up, like 2 days ago, e.l.f. Brow Lift. This is the box for it. And then here's the actual. Okay, here's the actual product. It's like that gel looking stuff for your brows. I've used it once. That's all. I used it yesterday. I bought the little spoolie that goes with it. The little spoolie that goes with it with the little flat side. So I'm going to try this again today. I don't feel like it held as well as this one. Like the soap kind of brow one. I feel like this has better hold. But I have only used this one so far. So the directions do say to put it on and then let it dry, I think. Ugh. Let's see. Bend spoolie into applicator and gently dip into gel. On clean brows, brush up and out while pressing down for your desired shape. Use the flat end of the applicator to press brows into place until set. So it says clean brows, so I put this on before I did like a pomade or a pencil yesterday. So I'm going to do the same thing today. I'm going to try it a couple different ways. So I'm just going to dip the spoolie here. Now I don't trim my brows like my brow hair. I trim my eyebrow, but I don't make my brow hair any shorter. So we'll comb it down after we're all done. I'm gonna let this like fully dry though, because yesterday it all kept falling. But I went in, maybe I went in too soon. Like, look at that. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this for a second. This looks crazy. I will not walk out of my house like this, but I'm gonna let this sit for a minute and see what happens. Because yesterday, while it was still like tacky, you can see like the shine there. While it was still tacky, I went in with my pomade and it all kind of fell. So I think I'm going to give one more press here in an upward direction. And now I'm going to let that sit completely before I put anything in it. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm going to prime my eyes. I'm going to prime my eyes with my Juvia's Place eye primer. I've been alternating between this and the, ooh, that's probably way too much. This and the ABH and the MAC one. Yeah, we're going to move some of that over here. Now see, I've not touched that. And do you see how it's like falling down over here? I've not touched that brow hair. I don't know if you can tell. Like right there, it's kind of doing what it wants to do at the moment. I am going to go back over this with the spoolie and the... But do you see what I'm saying? Like this one's still standing up, like up to here, and that one has fallen down. It's kind of what I ran into yesterday. But like I said, I feel like this one always does that. The hair wants to go the other way. But I was kind of expecting this to be a lot more aggressive in its hold. But I don't feel like it is. Alright, I'm going to let those eyebrows kind of do their thing. I'm going to go ahead and fill this one in with my e.l.f. pomade in taupe. Now I did actually go through my declutter pile and pull out my other e.l.f. pomade in the shade, I think it's like light brown. I did pull that back out because I realized on camera sometimes my brows look a little bit like gray almost, the way I fill them in. So I did pull that back out to use if I want to. So I'm going to just grab this little brush and spoolie here. I will say I'm kind of surprised by the performance of this brow lift stuff, because I've only heard good things about it, and several people, you know, that I watch have discussed it and they're like, yeah, it's really good, it really dries. But see, these are falling over again. Now granted, I don't want them to stay necessarily stuck to my face, you know, like stuck up like that. I'm not going to wear them like that, but I kind of expected more hold. And I like the way that it looks. Like it kind of defines the hairs and everything. But I think I was expecting something different. And I think that's a big part of it. Sometimes you go in thinking, you know, you have in your mind what it's going to look like. Or how it's going to work. And so while it's not a disappointing product, you're like, oh, this is not what I had in mind. So I think that's kind of where I am with the brow gel after using it twice. It's not a bad product. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. Now I did actually pick up this Clinique Super Balanced Makeup the other day at TJ Maxx. And it says on here that it is the Smart Makeup Base, absorbs oil where oil control is needed, moisturizes where hydration is needed, and slips onto skin easily, oil-free, shake well before using. So that made me go, ooh, I want to try that. Now the shade of this is in CN70 Vanilla, but vanilla seemed appropriate and it's like a frosted bottle, so I thought, oh, that might be alright. It's a little dark, so I do have out my LA Girl mixer here. Now I am going to mix them on this little compact here in front of me. I have been just putting things directly on my face, like I'll put it on my finger and wipe it on, and it has been looking really heavy. Like all of my foundation has looked really, really heavy. So we're going to try it this way instead. I'm going to take a little bit of this. And seriously, the fact that we're still selling things in these bottles, what the heck? Okay. I guess it's because people like me still buy them. Okay. See, that was a little bit dark. That's going to be a little dark on me. So I'm going to mix in, it's probably way too much foundation too. I'm going to mix in some of this. Oh my gosh, this is so much foundation. So much foundation poured out. Okay. Just mixing that together. That looks pretty good. Okay. Have my dampened e.l.f. sponge. Just going to go in with that. And I have not actually worn this foundation. I put it on the other day, just like half my face before I washed my makeup off. Just to see what the color looked like. And it wasn't terrible. If I blended it like all the way down my neck, it was fine. But it was a little bit dark. I did a half face of this and half of my face with the Wet n Wild matte, which is about the same color as this complete. Like these are actually about the same color. So I will probably try this one out later this week. Also with my white mixer. And we'll see what we can do with that. It does look a little bit dry though almost. And I actually did use all that product. I feel like that's my issue with like matte foundations though, is when you put them on they can look a little bit dry, but like as the day goes on that's what you want. You know, because they're going to absorb the oil and stuff. So yeah, I don't feel like it was super full coverage. Doesn't say it's supposed to be. Moderate cover, natural finish. Okay. I would say everything on that package is true. I have seen it a couple times since I purchased it. So yeah. Okay, on to some concealer. I'm going to use the Covergirl True Blend Undercover under my eyes, down the center of the face. Yeah, you can definitely still see the redness. Actually, before I use that concealer, I'm going to go into my Pixie Correction Concentrate Brightening Peach. That's what it says. I actually put on a little bit of this the other day, like right here. These spots right at the top of my cheek, right where like my dark circle ends, have like some sun damage and all that, and it's just been like shining through my concealer. So I'm going to pat a little bit of this on. Okay, so we're going to let that set for a minute. I've had this forever. I don't color correct every day, but I feel like as it gets warmer out, like these start to show a little bit more when I'm actually out in the sun. You know, I wear sunscreen every day, but here and then like up here, I have like a little sunspot thing. So one of those where I'm like, I wear sunscreen every day. I have really fair skin, so I'm like, I protect myself from the sun at all costs, and I have like sun damage on my face. You know, and then like my mom and my sisters used to lay out like covered in like baby oil and like attracting the sun, and they look fantastic. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know how this is fair at all. Okay. So over the top of that, I'm going to apply my concealer. Just kind of where I need it. And I feel like above my eyebrows, like let's see where I put it. I feel like my foundation hasn't been sticking there, so maybe because I'm putting all that other stuff on. Now this is not a very brightening concealer. As you can see, this is like almost my skin tone. That's okay. I'm going to grab a little bit of this Marc Jacobs Extra Shot, the light color. And I'm going to put a little dab of that there. But I don't love this as a concealer. I don't think it really like covers things up for me. So I'm just going to put that there and let the rest of this set for just a minute. There's a hair on my lips again. Now I am going to have to go pick up my son. So I'm debating if I should start the eyes before I do that or not. Okay. I'm going to take my sponge now and just blend out all that concealer. CoverGirl Concealer is actually really good. Like, don't sleep on that one. I kind of forget about it. I used it a lot when I got it, and then I'm kind of like, meh. You know, I have other things. I get new stuff, and it kind of gets pushed to the side, but it actually is really effective. Like, it covers what you want it to cover. Okay, now, looking at all of this together, the foundation, isn't the best coverage like down here where I have a lot of like redness and scarring. But that's okay. You know, I'm not. And it is definitely a little darker than my neck. But it's about the same color as my chest. It's all over the place. Okay. On to the next thing anyway. So I think I'm going to let all this kind of set in and just dry and see how like actually matte it gets. How much my hair is curling. Wish we'd all do that. Like this front part will do that naturally, and then the back's just a little too long though. Just kind of, it'll get wavy, but sometimes it looks like I straight up took a crimper to my hair. I have some photos of like when my kids were younger, and I'm like, is that what my hair looks like all the time? I was like, yeah, why? It's like, I always thought it was like, oh, it's a cute little wave, but no, it looks like 80s crimped on its own. I'm finally just embracing what my hair is. It's just kind of this weird curly wavy type of thing. If I brush it out, it'll just be a little bit frizzy. If I curl it with like a curling iron or curlers. I love using like plastic curlers, foam curlers. But those all fall, and it always just looks like this. Or I can straighten it. Like I can spend an hour running a straightener through my hair or a blow dryer. As soon as it's like a little bit of sweat or a little bit of like moisture in the air, it looks like this. So at this point in my life, I'm like, oh cute, it looks a little bit curly. We'll just leave it like that. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to use something I've not used in a minute. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in Light. I haven't touched this in months, at least, like months. I'm going to use my Real Techniques little microfiber sponge. That's what it's called. I'm just going to set under my eye with this and see how that goes. I'm not wearing this at a bit. That looks pretty. Okay. Okay. I just got done doing my declutter series. I was watching them and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get rid of that. But then after I was watching it, you know, to edit it, and when I got to the end and I like saw each pile of like makeup, I was like, I don't think there was anything I went and took back out. Like I said, the brow product I did pull back out because I was like, you know, I got rid of most of them. And because in real life, I like the way that this looks, but I was like, on camera, sometimes it looks a little bit gray. Like this looks darker today. I think it's that gel, like holding it in. But so I did pull out some of those other brow products, but I'm like, I don't think I've taken out bronzers, blush, eyeshadows, like nothing like that. Not that I thought I would, but as I was watching it, like in the middle of editing, I thought, oh man, I'm gonna like want to take those out. But then like by the end of the video, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good, because I, you know, saw everything else I did keep and that I do have. I was like, I don't need any of that. Okay, so that feels nice and set. That looks pretty under the eyes. Okay. And another one I haven't used in a while is the Change Maker from Bite in the shade Light. So that looks like. So I'm going to use that all over the rest of my face. Do I want to use a sponge? We'll try it. I don't usually love using a sponge and pressed powder, but that set that down really nicely. I'm going to try that. Like this is not full coverage. Definitely not. Like you can see a lot of things going on. It looks a little powdery as well. I mean, before I powdered it, it looked a little bit powdery. But it feels nice and set, which is a big part of it for me in the summer. I don't like it to be sticky. I don't want to feel like there's stuff on me. Okay. I'll probably regret later making that face because I always do. Now at this stage, I kind of want to spray it, but I kind of want to let it just all die down naturally. So I think I'm going to leave it all alone for a minute. Oh, I was going to use these in like cream contour. Do I dare try to do that over the top of this? I might. Okay, I might do that. I think I'm going to try and like cream bronze and contour a little bit here. I actually picked up a couple of concealers from a store near me that, Meyer, that they had these for like 79 cents or something like that. These were like the only kind of shades they had, you know, that it was very limited, you know, it was like the final discounts. And I was like, the shades of this looked like it would be nice to use for like a bronze and like a contour. So I picked these up. They did have like stickers all over them, so they look kind of gross, but ignore that. I got these to try because I'm familiar with the Covergirl Concealer formula. It's what I just used on my under eyes today. So I know that it like goes a long way. So I'm like, but now that I've powdered, do I dare try to put concealer over the top of that? I think I'm going to try it. I'm feeling brave today, so we're going to do it. Now, this one is much darker. This is the shade Cappuccino, and then this is the shade Golden Caramel. You can see the difference here. I think I'm going to try this for contouring, and then this one for like bronzer. Wish me luck. We'll see how this goes. I've just been kind of into it lately, like the more cream products. Who am I? Who am I? Oh, actually, I want to find that Real Techniques brush. Nope, it's Eco Tools. That Jessica Braun said worked. One second. Haven't used these in a minute. They're a little setting over there alone. And like I said, these are ones that I've seen Jessica Braun use, but she doesn't normally have a powder on, I don't think. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. Like a little bit. This little tiny one. That's very, very dark. Yeah, I feel like it's lifting my foundation and stuff a little bit, but it definitely is on me for powdering first. I'm actually not mad about the way that looks. It actually blended in pretty nicely. I'm going to go back underneath with my foundation sponge. Yeah, it definitely took off some of that product, but like, that looks pretty nice. I'm going to try the other side. Might be a little warm as like a contour shade, actually. Honestly, that's not bad. That blended out really nicely. Definitely be trying that one again. I am going to try some of this one in the shade Golden Caramel, like around my face. I'm going to do like 4 little dots. And we'll blend that in quickly. Quickly, come on. I'm going to use this one and just kind of... Honestly, it's not bad for what I have done to myself here with the bronzing over this powder. I do like the shades of these. I feel like these look nice, right? Like this doesn't look bad. Like I said, a little splotchy over here. Go back over with that same sponge. I think I will definitely try those again without having set my face. I do like that. I think that looks cool. I think these will be nice. Again, I was familiar with the formula. That's why I kind of felt like I could make these work. And I feel like it did. Okay. Okay. I am going to go over the top with a powder. I don't think I'm going to go over this part, but I am going to dust a little bit of my bronzer over the top. Oh man, that's looking weird right there. Like something sticking. Yikes. I'll stick a little bit of that around the face. I think I'll do on the sides of the nose. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay. That is way too much. Way too much. Okay. Now, wiping this off, blending that in. It did blend out with my sponge. Honestly, I was all excited about the cream blushes and stuff, and then I may have gotten a little overzealous here with some of this other stuff. But I do like the tones of these concealers, so I think I will try to use these a little more. I feel like I made my nose look uneven, and it's not. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put on some blush. For blush, I actually pulled out my Bobbi Brown Illuminating Bronzing Powder in Santa Barbara, which is pink. So we're going to use that for the cheeks. I do really like this blush as well. I'm going to go ahead and highlight, then I'm going to go get my son, and then we will finish up and do these eyes. I'm very excited about that part. I'm going to use my MAC Whisper of Guilt highlighter. Look how pretty that And yes, I did just buy this because it has stars in it. And yes, it is a little deep for me, but I do use it because it has stars in it. So, going in with a highlighter brush. This is a Milani brush. Put a little bit of this on the cheek. See, it's a little golden, but take a little bit here on the brow bone. Okay, we'll be back shortly to finish up the eye makeup and put on some lips. Okay, we're back to do eyeshadow. For my lips, I did go ahead and put on a Marc Jacobs lipstick in the shade Infamous, just so I'm not looking so corpse-like as I'm sitting here doing this. So we've got that on the lips and on the teeth. Now, I don't want this to take too long to do, but I do want it to be like really, really bold. So we're going to go for that today. All right, I hope this is close enough. I do have my camera back further, so we'll try it today. We'll see how it goes. Now, I did pull out a couple of palettes and also this single from Natasha Denona in 20M True Gold. I have been using this almost every day. So definitely getting some use out of this. I've just kind of left it up on my desk and actually used it a lot. I think I just want to like tap on some really bright, bold colors and kind of go from there. I think I'm going to start in my Sub-Zero palette, my Poison Chalk palette, with the darkest blue shade here. And I'm going to put that in the outer corner and like on the lower lash line. I think I'm going to start with the darkest, move to the lightest, and then from there we'll kind of see where we're at. All right, we have the shade Iced Over. We're going to put that on the outer corner of the eye, just using like this little angled brush. Had to put my hair up, had all my windows down. On the way to the school, it was gorgeous. I'm enjoying this weather while I can. I think it's supposed to get up in the 80s like this week. It's literally like barely breaking 50. Now it's like 80, gonna be 86. Giving ourselves a pretty intense outer corner here. I'm going to take like a fluffier brush and blend that out with like a different blue or a teal. So don't panic yet. No panicking. But I'm going to kind of leave it like this. Getting a good intensity. And yes, this is me getting ready to go to the grocery store. Feels pretty even-ish. Like I said, we're going to go over the outside of all this and blend it together. So I just want a nice, deep outer corner here. All right, now on the middle, actually, while I have this blue open here, we're going to go ahead and take a small, this is the Smoke brush from BH. I'm going to take that on the outer corner. Like I said, I know this is looking a little sloppy right now. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Okay, so now we have that. Now, if you weren't worried before, you're probably worried now. Okay, I'm going to go into my Glam Light Cake palette. I think we're going to do Birthday Cake first. Birthday Cake and Icy Mint. We're going to work with both of those. That same brush I was using with the dark blue. Wipe that off just a little bit, my color switch. I'm going to take the shade Birthday Cake, which was that darker teal, and kind of blend that into that dark blue. Having them meet up. Okay. Same thing on the other side. I feel like I'm like hunching over. I don't know why my mirror is not that low. All right, we're just having those kind of blend into each other. I'm kind of blending it to the edge, but I am going to take something even lighter than this over there, so I'm not too worried about the edge right now. Okay. I'm going to go on the inner corner, obviously with a lighter shade, so. Then, going back into that Smoke brush, into Birthday Cake, and we're going to go on the lower lashes. Almost the rest of the way across. Oop, that was the wrong shade. Well, the lower lashes, they're looking really similar, actually. It's okay. There we go. I'm looking a little patchy right there on the top, so let's see if we can fix that. Patting and just kind of blending. You just want it to be evenly distributed. And then if you need to, you can go back into the dark blue. Now I'm using like 3 different palettes, 2 or 3 different palettes. You wouldn't have to do that, you know. Dark blue into teal, whatever you have. Now I am going to go ahead and kind of blend the outer edges and things of this. I'm going to take a small but fluffy brush. I think I'm going to use this. See how it's kind of like tapered, like kind of thin this way? I think I'm going to take this into this like baby blue here, this cold-blooded shade right here. I'm going to take just a little bit of that and start on the inner corner actually, and kind of blend it out. It's a really pigmented blue, but just grazing the edge of these darker ones. I'm doing this before I put a shimmer on because I don't want it to be blended into this, you know. I just want this to be the mattes. Yeah, I feel like I got a little heavy-handed with that light blue in the center of this. So I'm going to take a little more on the other eye just to make them even. I'm going to do the same thing on the lower lashes with like nothing else on this brush. Just kind of buffing out what's there. Now I've heard Angelica Nyquist. I've heard her say, you know, you're only going to get so far blending colors like this because it doesn't blend into your skin tone. And I feel like that's accurate. You know, you can blend well and it's still going to look like you're going to be able to tell. It's not like seamless. There's going to be a designated mark. Just taking that fluffier one, like I said, nothing else on this, just kind of using that to buff the edge of this before I go in with some shimmers. Now I could have gone in with the lightest blue first, like as a transition shade, and then gone in with these darker ones, but I did want it to be more poppy today. Like I wanted these dark blues and teals to be like, pew, star of the show. So I just wanted that to be kind of like a whisper on the outer edge. So that's why I did it the way I did. Okay, now I kind of want to use the shade Stone Cold a little bit, which is like a beautiful teal. I also kind of want to go in with like the gold shade all over. That one's gorgeous. This is the Lit List one. Alright, I'm going to go into the Lit List and I'm going to go with that super, super gold shade right here. And I'm going to put that all over the front part of my eye. Take a little flat shader brush. This may end up working better with a finger. Yeah, like that did nothing. Yeah, there's nothing there. Okay. With a finger I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that all over my lid. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to take the other finger here. If I'm using my finger for eyeshadow, I usually just go in like opposite hands because I feel like trying to do this, it ends up way further up than just using my left hand. And hoping for the best. I'm not left-handed. But just go, you know, it just makes it a little more even, like the way your hand goes across. I'm telling you, the Lit List palette, if you see it at TJ Maxx or anything anymore, I don't know if they'll have it anymore. I don't know, but don't pass on it if you see it. Don't pass on it. It's gorgeous. Now, I kind of want to go on the lower lashes as well, but I don't know if, like down here. So I'm going to take that brush I used for the lower lash line. Okay. This is definitely working better than that other brush. It's like a little bit fluffier. The other one was not doing anything for this. I am loving this. Okay. On the inner corner, I think I'm just going to go in with the shade Frozen in this palette. It's the white up here in the corner. On that same brush. I'm going to put some of that on the inner corner, and then I'm going to go over it with the gold. And then back into Pop Bottles is the name of the shade, actually. I'm assuming that means for like holiday, but all I can think of is like pop bottles. Like soda bottles. I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like that looks pretty good. Okay. And again, in this one there was also this row of like blues I could have gone in with, but I did pull out a handful of eyeliners. There's something. Now, normally I would go with one of like these darker ones, but I kind of want to go with, I almost want to use this mint green shade. So here are all my choices. I'm going to try the mint green and see what happens. I feel like I want something nice and bright. I could go with gold as well, I guess, but... Alright, let's go ahead and take this one more time. Just going to buff anything out there on the outer corner. Liquid eyeliner, my Physicians Formula, waterproof. Not so bad. Other eye. Oop, that center part got away from me. Feel pretty good about that. Simple little wing, nothing crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to powder my whole T-zone. T-zone powdered. Okay, on to mascara. Using my Essence mascaras, I went in with my green one. Now here's the pink one. Had a funny moment last night with one of my, was it last night, yesterday? One of my kids. I was watching some YouTube on our like TV in the living room. And he came in and saw who it was, and he's watching, and he says, "Hey, what's up with that? She changed her background." That she moved to Florida. So it was just, it made me laugh that it's like, you know, you don't think that they're watching it or paying attention or care about what you're watching or whatever, and then they're like, "Hey, that's different what she's doing there." So let that be a lesson though. You think they're not watching or paying attention, they know exactly what's going on. I don't know about anybody else, but that's the best way to get my kids' attention. Whisper to my husband. And they turn their ears on. What'd she say? What are you talking about? All right. And I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this look. It really didn't take me that long to do the eyes today. I do feel like doing your dark colors first sometimes is actually the easier way to go, and then just kind of buff out the edge just a little bit instead of, you know, building up so much. So I feel like this turned out really, really cute. It's really, really pretty, and it really matches my dress, which makes me very happy. I hope you have a wonderful beginning to your spring, start to the summer. You know, weather's finally warming up, so let's enjoy that. Let's be thankful for that. And I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.